event must happen before a specific time is reached. So first example, you must return your book by April 21st. Here we are specifically mention the time period. So April 21st. So he or she must return the book before by April 21st. So in this case we have to use by. Next one is my essay is due by the end of the week. So here also they are specifically mention about the time. The week is the time. So in that case also we have to use by. Next one is he had promised to be back by 5 o'clock. Here they are mentioning about the timing, specific timing 5 o'clock. So here we have to use by. Next one is until. So where we have to use until a period of time up to a specific point in the time. So when we are talking about specific point, so in that case we have to use until. First example is I cannot go dancing until I finish reading this chapter. So this case he can't go until he finish reading the chapter. So here we have to use until. Next one is are you going to work until 10 o'clock? Here they are asking for specific point of time. So in that case we have to use until. Next one is they will study until the day of the exam. So here in this case that is answering to when. Okay. So here in this case it is answering when. They will study when until the day of the exam. So in that cases also we have to use until. Next. So next one is within. Not this one. Next one is next one is within. So where we have to use within before a particular period of time has finished. So first example is the ambulance arrived within 10 minutes. So when we are talking about the time period, the duration of the times in the situation we have to use within. Next one is we must finish the project within a year. So here we are talking about the time duration. So within a year we must finish the project. So next one is he repaid the loan within 2 years. He has to repay the loan within 2 years. Actually in that case they are mentioning within 2 years he has to repay the loan. So when we are talking about this the duration of the time, in that case we have to use within. Next. So in the the higher than a point. So we are to expression notion of the object being higher than a point. In that case English we are using over and above. So we can see where we have to use over and above. In some cases we are using both also, over and above. First we can see where we have to use over. So to talk about movement or position at a higher level than something else. So when we are talking about something moving to one object, one point to another point, or positions, in that case we have to use over. First example, a beautiful white bird flew over the lake. So the bird is moving one point to another point. So in that case we have to use over. Next one is a helicopter is flying over the house. So it is flying over the house. The helicopter is moving one point to another point. So in that case also we have to use over. Next one is he threw the ball over the roof. So ball is going one point to another point. It is movement. So in that case also we have to use over. Yeah. So next we can see the above. So one thing is much higher than another thing, or there is a lot of space between them. So in that case mostly we don't consider the motions. First example, the picture is hang above the window. Like the picture is not going to move, it is stable there only. So in that case, we have to use above. Next one is the clock is above the book table. Where the clock is, it is above. It's above the book table. Next one is the people in the apartment above mine. So they are like staying above my apartment. So in that case, we have to use above. It is stable only. Yeah. Next, like we can see, like we can use above and over in the same situation. In the A, like A is above B and A is over the B. So why we are using above and over means like in that case it is the same pointing, like A and B are both are in the same point. So in that case we have to use over. So like above, like we are using for like it is above the like A is above the B. Next one is the fan is above the table and the fan is over the table. So here like we can use both the cases. So here like we like I mentioned the difference for both. First one is A is above B. Like here like A is above the B, but it is not in the same point. So if it is in the same point, in that case we can use A is over the B. But here like we can't use over. Why means it is A and B is in the different position. So in that case we can't use over, but we can use above. So next example is we have got a little house above the lake. Because like it is above the lake, but it is not a lake, it is not in the same point. So here like we can't use over. So that is why I marked in the red color. We have got a little house over the lake. We can't use over here. Yeah. Next one is lower than a point. So to express a notion of an object being lower than a point. So in that case, like we are using under, underneath, beneath, below. Here like we can see where we have to use under and underneath, beneath and below. First one is under, to describe an object that is below a general point. So when we are talking about the general point, we have to use under. So if we are talking about anything specific point, in that case like we have to use underneath. So first example is the rabbit burrowed under the ground. So it is a general case, we have to use under. So next one is a cookie is under the table. It is also a general situation. So the cookie is under the table. Like we can see the cookies. So in that case, we have to use under. Next one is he was sleeping under this tree. Like we are not like mentioning anything specific, but we are generally using the tree. Like he is sleeping under the tree. It is a general point. So here like we can use under. Here to describe something underneath, to describe something that is below a more specific point. When we are talking about a specific point, in that case we have to use underneath. The child hide underneath the blanket. So child is hiding, where he is hiding, it's a specific point, blanket. So in that case like we have to use underneath. And next one is the tunnel goes right underneath the city. Here like we are specifically use the city. So in that case we have to use underneath. Next one is she sat underneath the tree in the shadow. So in the sentence, if we can see she sat under the tree. So it is not mentioning about the tree only. It is pointing out the specific point in the shadow, on the shade. So in that case, it is like specifically mentioned about the shade. So here like we have to use underneath. So next one is beneath, to describe an object that is directly below another object. So like when we are talking about like the below and another object, so here like we have to use beneath. We relaxed in the shade beneath the branches. So like where they are relaxed beneath the branches. In that case, it's directly answer to the where. So here like we have to use beneath. Next one is the little boat shrank beneath the waves. It like we are like specifically pointing out the wave. Like in that case, we have to use beneath. Next one is the sun is now beneath the horizon. Here also like specifically mention about the horizon. So here also we have to use beneath. And the next one is below. So to describe an object that is lower or less than another object or point. So when we are talking about the lower or less than a object or point, here we have to use below. The valley is below a sea level. So here like it is below the sea level. So here like we have to use below. My details are below. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Like here like we are like specifically telling about my like information, my details are below the particular place. So like don't hesitate to contact me. So in the next one is we could find something below the surface of the water. Here like we are pointing out like something we could find something below the water, below the surface of the water. Here also we are not like specifically mention about anything. Like here we can say we are saying like something under like surface the water. So here also we have to use below. Like I have added some exercise. Like first one is Lena usually eats lunch dash to them.
Bye.
Yeah. No, Lena usually eats lunch. Here, like we are like telling about the time. Yeah, we have to use by.
At.
No, at. Yeah, correct. At, because it is a continuous from the last session. So first one is at is correct. So next one is automobiles and airplanes became very popular. That's the 20th century. Sorry.
Bye. During.
Yeah, during. Yeah, correct. During this 20th century. So third one, we usually go out dash Saturday evenings.
On.
Sorry, give me one.
On now.
Yeah, on because like we are like telling about the Saturday evenings. So here like we have to use on. Next one is the bus will be leaving dash a few minutes.
In.
Yeah, correct. In. And next one is Mira moved to California dash the age of 2.
By the end.
At the age of 2.
Oh, no, like here like we are talking about the age. Like here we have to use in.
In now.
Yeah, in. And the next one is I have been living here dash 1 year.
Else.
I have been living here dash 1 year. Yeah, for correct. And next one is let's meet dash lunchtime.
at.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
I think
Shall
the California also. I think it should be at the age of 2. But okay, maybe we'll just check that.
yeah. Okay. No, here like we are talking specifically talking about the age. So here like we have to use in only.
Okay.
Yeah, I will check. Yeah. One second. Yes, have a next slide. Next one is those people have been in the US dash 1998.
Since.
Yeah, since yeah, since is correct. Next one is he fell asleep dash the film. He was asleep dash off and on.
During
Ah,
he was asleep for half an hour.
yeah, correct. During and for he fell asleep during the film. He was asleep for an half an hour. Next one is Johnny lives in Paris dash 6 months. Yeah, sorry. Next one is the pipe has been leaking dash yesterday.
Since
Yeah, correct. Next one is the road outside our house will be closed dash 6 a.m. dash 6 p.m. tomorrow.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
From 2.
Okay. The road outside our house will be closed from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, until next to a second dash is until.
Okay.
So yeah, the next one is the movie will be finished dash p.m.
Bye.
by
Yeah, correct.